Hi guys, welcome to this IPL and words video. In this video, we correlate cricket with words. We will be discussing match 8 between the Kolkata Knight Riders and Sunrisers Hyderabad last night. How did you guys like the match? Did the match excite you, or was it a little bit boring, right? Really could not get the energy up. As far as the performance of KKR goes, it was what we call an efficacious performance. What is something which is efficacious, right? Based on efficiency, right? So you can you can correlate this with efficiency. So something efficacious has the power to produce a desired result or effect. It's effective, successful, productive, fruitful, potent, powerful, worthwhile, right? Shubman Gill's performance last night was very efficacious. KKR's performance was very efficacious yesterday. In fact, you realized right through the performance that they were pretty professional about the whole game. The bowling did well, the fielding was okay, it did well, and the batting was very efficient. So right through the match, right, they did a really good job, right? So that's what KKR did last night. Efficacious performance. Now on the other hand, we had an underwhelming performance from the Sunrisers Hyderabad. They failed to impress, they failed to make a positive impact, right? Pretty disappointing performances. It was what we call a letdown. It was confounding. We were dismayed, depressed, disenchanted, displeased. All in all, a pretty underwhelming performance. So when you do not perform up to the desired levels, that becomes underwhelming. The opposite of underwhelming is overwhelmed. When you've gone beyond the level that you should have performed, right? It gets too much. So when things get too much, it's overwhelming. When things are not up to the mark, they are underwhelming. So that's the difference between overwhelming and underwhelming, right? And SRH's performance last night was definitely underwhelming. They just did not make a match of it. Pretty one-sided game. One-sided games in the IPL can be a little bit of a snooze fest, and that is what it was. Yesterday did make you go to sleep a little, the match, right? Continuing on the same subject, there is an interesting word here, and the word is contingent, right? So now one of the meanings of contingent is when it's used as a noun, so you refer to a group of people who share a common feature. That is what a contingent is, forming a larger group. So for example, a contingent of players participating in an event. So the Indian contingent to the Olympics. So that is where the word refers to a group of people, and that is what the picture represents. But there are two other meanings of the word which are important. The first meaning is when it's used as an adjective. Both these usages, the word is used as an adjective, right? Here the first meaning is when something is subject to chance, the contingent nature of the task. Chance, accidental, fortuitous, possible. So when something is left to chance, is subject to chance, you call that it is contingent to chance, right? It's subject to chance. Now another meaning is when something is dependent upon something occurring or existing only if there are circumstances, if certain circumstances exist. So when something, so for example, the sun, and this is why we have the word here, the success of Sunrisers is contingent upon the success of the openers, right? So what is the success dependent upon? It is dependent upon the openers, the success of its openers, right? So it's used to represent something which is dependent, conditional, subject to, determined by, hinging on, resting on. And if you think carefully, Sunrisers' success does hinge on David Warner and Johnny Bairstow. It rests on, it's subject to, it's determined by, it's conditional based on the success of David Warner and Johnny Bairstow, right? So it's contingent upon the success of the openers, heavily dependent upon the openers, which makes you question, was the team combination right last night? So now we'll do a non-vocabulary bit in this video, something new to discuss today. Was the combination right? Probably. Can they do something like this? They can have Warner and Saha at the top. Saha did eat up a lot of balls yesterday, but he managed to stay on the wicket. So that's a positive and a negative both. But he ended up, his impact was negative on the game, right? So Sunrisers reached nowhere. They did not lose wickets, and they did did not get to the score that they should have. So maybe you should use Saha as a pinch hitter at the top, right? Have Johnny Bairstow at 3, right? Have Warner open with Saha, Bairstow coming in at 3, Manish Pandey at 4. You could have Priyam Garg or Vijay Shankar. Vijay Shankar would give you a bowling option as well. At 5, then Nabi at 6, or probably if there are number of overs are less, you can get Nabi one step higher. Nabi can at least strike the ball, right? And then you can have Abhishek Sharma and the bowlers, right? Will add depth to the lineup, right? And would probably make sure that you just split up your main players in terms of Warner, Bairstow, Manish Pandey. They would have greater depth, greater impact during the innings. So that is probably something that can be done and something that can be looked into, right? And Sunrisers definitely need to do that. Otherwise, their middle order faces the same problem that the Indian middle order faced in the World Cup. Just did not have the gas to take them through. Heavily dependent upon the top 2. If they fail, it just falls like a pack of cards. The team falls like a pack of cards, like a deck of cards going down. Something that the Sunrisers Hyderabad need to think of. Otherwise, they will keep coming up with underwhelming performances. Their success will continue to be contingent upon Warner and Bairstow. And if they come up with teams who perform like KKR, efficacious displays like KKR, you will have these one-way games, right? So that is all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you had a great time with this analysis. Hope you learned 3 words today. Thank you very much for watching this video. This is Prashant signing off. Thank you very much and happy learning.